Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In our reading today in 1 Samuel chapter 8, we read about the people's desire for a king. The people of Israel wanted a king because Samuel's sons were not quite up to par in their eyes, and they wanted a king like the nations around them. And even though Samuel sees this as an insult, even God says this is an insult against himself, in that they were basically rejecting him as king. God goes ahead and permits them to have a king. And not only that, he actually is going to have a person appointed to become king, namely Saul. And we begin to read about that process in chapter 9. And it's interesting the way that process begins. It begins with Saul looking for donkeys. Of all the ways that a person might think that someone goes through the process of becoming a king, I don't think that looking for donkeys would be the way that people would typically think. This was a menial task. This was a difficult task. It was also probably an annoying task, pulling Saul away from probably the other duties that he had around the house because of these lost donkeys, these wayward donkeys. And yet this is the way in which God is going to get him into contact with Samuel, and through Samuel then him being anointed as king, which teaches us a lot, because in our day-to-day activities, there's probably a lot of things that go on in our lives, little menial things, things that maybe are inconveniences in our life, things that we think are not really connected and really have no benefit or value in our lives, that might be the very things that lead us into the very purpose and plan of God for our lives. And we should never undervalue even the most small moments. Even the most menial tasks can be brought under submission to God and be brought to God and sanctified by prayer, by bringing those situations to Him and submitting our lives to Him. And even those menial tasks or those inconveniences or those annoying things that sometimes we have to go through, and submit to those things and say, Lord, I know that even in these sorts of situations, you can work out your good purpose and your plan. And it might just be that these very things that I don't value very much, these things that I think are insignificant, these events that seem insignificant, might be the very things that you're using to bring about your purpose in my life and the glory that you can receive. And so today, as we go about our daily task, let's begin to think about those little moments that don't seem very significant, and think about how perhaps we can use those little moments to the glory of God. And maybe use those little moments as chances and opportunities to submit to God's will, and to see if they don't lead us in a particular direction that might cause us to actually be better off in the future, whether that be physically, mentally, or spiritually. We just don't know what these little moments will do for us, but we just trust in the Lord all along the way and trust that He's going to do what is right and what is good in those moments. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.